Welcome to the I Love CVille Show, guys. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us today. We're live in Charlottesville, across the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. We're presented by the good people at Ting Fiber Internet, the power behind the network. Skooma Boutique Dispensary, the newest dispensary in Charlottesville next to Rapture on the Charlottesville Downtown Mall. David and his team, certificates of analyses for everything in the store. I'm going to tell you right now, the future is so bright for Skooma Boutique Dispensary as the Commonwealth of Virginia finally heads into a realistic future with cannabis. A lot to cover on today's program. Scott Wagner Integrated Medicine, a part of this program. We love Dr. Wagner. We love the folks at Interstate Service Company. Today's show is going to be fire. Justin, you know, I need to get the right pronunciation of your last name.
Oh, Linde.
Linde.
Not as it appears.
Because a lot of folks think it's Vanderlyn.
And that's good. We'll take it.
Okay.
But the official is Linde.
Linde. This man knows food like the Pope knows holy water. We're going to talk about the evolution of his locally owned businesses and brands. This gentleman, this talented chef, launching a new brand and business. Jody is going to join us from the Virginia Film Festival. Chandler is going to join us as well. Today's show is just going to be everything that's fantastic about this community, local events, locally owned businesses doing positive things. Judah Wickower is our North Star. If anybody had any idea what Judah goes through from a day-to-day business, they would be mailing Judah Wickower Christmas cards. He's nodding his head. Absolutely, yes. All right, let's go to the studio camera. Let's welcome Justin Linde to the program.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me, Jerry.
How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the invite.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
I cannot say enough about your food. In fact, my wife, who is fabulous woman, I know you're watching, sweetheart, I would say from time to time, maybe difficult to please, I think you might agree with that, she says your barbecue is the best she's ever had in her entire life. We live in Keswick and we drove to Crozet specifically for your food, and that's not a short trip. So if we could spotlight the flip book or the evolution of you in food, perhaps starting with the carving board if we could.
Yeah, sure. Thanks again for having me. Started 2005. I think I was 24 with the carving board, and I'll get a plug in for my lovely wife. We opened it as the Gruesome Twosome, and we watched that business evolve for 5 years. Had a great run there. I'll always claim I don't invent many dishes, but I always will try to put my spin on them or take my run at them. So that we saw a lot of success there. Took some time off after that. We had a successful sale there as well, and we were able to pass that business on to another entrepreneur who continued to run it for several more years. Took a little break. Headed out west for a minute, but the food bug called me back, and 2013 opened the Smoked Barbecue Cart down on 6th Street, and for 2 years pushed that cart up and down.
Dude, you were grinding.
We were grinding.
Yeah,
it was back to the grind.
Yeah.
We started at the ground floor again, and by 2016 we had a loyal following. Business was good. And made the jump to Crozet, where we opened Smoke Kitchen and Tap, kind of a full-service version of the barbecue we were serving, and Crozet welcomed us with open arms, and throughout the entire time there, and continue as the business has been sold, they continue to support smoke heavily. That community is really strong out there, and especially when they entered the pandemic and things were up in the air, that community really stepped up. And so did Charlottesville. People were making trips out and helping us keep the lights on for that first couple months there where we didn't know what was going on. Ended up coming through the pandemic. I know a lot of people have fallen victim. A lot of good places have fallen victim. Some just stuff out of our control. That food translated really well to go and to families that are at home, trapped at home with not much to do during the day, but maybe some Netflix and some good barbecue.
And Crozet is a unique market, very different from the city of Charlottesville in that it's not yet incredibly saturated with F&B businesses.
It's not.
Is that fair?
Totally fair, and I think the things that have stood the test of time out there have been
Far downers.
Far downers. You've got Sam's hot dog stand. You've
Crozet Pizza.
Crozet Pizza and Sal's. I mean, those are all staples that have been there for really decades, and so they definitely welcomed us in, and we were able to produce a really good product out there and a successful business. So. Then here comes the old 5-year itch out there, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot during the pandemic. I think people have kind of changed the way we operate in food and beverage. This the to-go model, the technology route with mobile apps, etc. It's just got my gears kind of turning, and had an opportunity come up in town, so we were able to attract a very capable buyer out there at Smoked, someone who's going to continue to do the same barbecue and keep the same good vibes flowing there. And I was able to step away and do this solo project that will be opening next week called Taste Shack. And that's where we are.
I love it. Ray Cadell, welcome to the program. Scott Aaronworth, thank you for sharing the show in Virginia Beach. Grayson, thank you for sharing the show in Short Pump, Virginia. Get ready to make the drive to this man's restaurant. It's going to be dynamite. Neil Williamson, welcome to the program. CVille Weekly and NBC 29, hello, hello, hello. We love when you watch the program. Scott says, I love that bacon milkshake. The dude is watching in Virginia Beach right now, streaming this show strictly for you. He says his burger is one of the best, and those cheesy potatoes, oh my God, that's what he said in the feed right now. If you want to give Justin some props, put them in the comment section on any social media platform you're watching upon. I first met you at the carving board. I was working at the time for the Daily Progress.
Oh, yeah.
Rio Road.
Yep.
That was a hop, skip, and a jump from you.
We needed you.
We did. You guys, whenever I went there, it was organized chaos. I could tell that you guys were on edge all the time, but the food always came out consistent, delicious, fast, fair prices, and damn good. Judah knows you from the carving board as well. So what did you learn from the carving board working with your beautiful wife that you're applying to your business models today?
Well, I learned who's in control, and that's not me. I learned who calls the shots. You're right, it was controlled chaos. That was, we were two young entrepreneurs, and that growth model happened very quickly. It kind of went from, okay, I think we can do this, to we got lines out the door. My attention has always been more on food, less, I'm not the paperwork guy. I love making good food. I love getting good food to the people. But there has to be some scalability, and that's one thing I think I've learned on the whole ride, right through Smoked up until now too, is we've got to prepare to scale up, and how to do that properly and effectively, and still get our product across to the people the way we want to do that. So I think a little older, a little wiser. We're bringing in really talented people to help this project and to be a part of this team. I kind of used to just think I could put it on my shoulders and carry it across, and there's a lot of good people out there that can help carry that load and help us get the product to more people in a more organized way. So yeah, it's a labor of love. I mean, the food's what I love. That's why I do this whole thing. Sometimes the business gets in the way, but such is life.
I totally get that, dude. I totally get that. For instance, this is my favorite part of the business. The accounting and the bookkeeping, the scheduling, not my favorite part. But 13 and a half years into doing this, you realize there are necessary evils that have to get done. You're going to freaking love this comment, dude, that just came in. This is from Kevin Higgins. Kevin Higgins, I love when you watch this program. He says, if you want to experience the Jeff Bezos space mission, save yourself the $250,000 and get the deviled eggs at Smoked instead. They are not of this earth. They are that damn good. From Kevin Higgins.
Man, too kind. Man, thank you. Yeah, no, that's what we do it for. It's more that gets me, that gets me pumped and energized to stay in this biz.
I can't wait to ask you about the cult following from Smoked. I will in a second. Ray Cadell says, I literally live around the corner in Carsbrook. So he has known your cuisine for a significant period of time.
Tell Ray we need, he's the Reuben, official Reuben.
You know Ray Cadell.
Ambassador. Tell him we've got a killer Reuben. I need him to give the double thumbs up on once we open up.
You heard that, Ray Cadell? Okay, you need to give him the double thumbs up. He's got a very refined taste.
Ray will let me know.
Ray will let you know.
Ray will let me know.
He will always let you know. The cult following that Smoked established, how did it start? When did you start realizing that what you were doing was going, literally, for lack of a better phrase, viral and bananas? And just put in perspective what it was like to have a food cart on the mall and hundreds of customers in a short time frame of a lunch break, asking for your food immediately, often hangry, and leaving pleased.
Yeah, I mean,
it was nuts.
Yeah, always hats off to the support and the customer base. I mean, that's why this stuff happens. There's that strange moment where it's probably in any business where you go from worrying about people coming to the business to worrying about how we're going to deal with the people in the business. I don't claim to do anything perfect or anything the best, but we definitely strive for consistency, and that's kind of what we hang our hat on. We just kind of grind until it hits, until we, and there's nothing, especially in the restaurant business, I feel like that word of mouth is the ultimate advertisement. This is a unique opportunity to come in here and get to talk to people and let them know what we're up to.
You got 2 states watching you right now.
Normally I just sit in the back and look out the window and go, all right, here comes another one. But yeah, that was a doozy. I kind of had envisioned it capping, kind of having a market cap at a certain point, and it just kept. We went from, we were operating Tuesday through Friday to then Saturday and Sunday for barbecues and, caterings and tailgates and weddings, and I just went, whoa, this thing's getting big. And then I was approached by my partner who was in it Smoked with me, and we had this opportunity in Crozet, and it just seemed like the good timing. It just was kind of serendipitous a little bit.
How scary was it? Vanessa Parkhill, hello. Neil Williamson, hello. Jonathan, watching in Williamsburg, Virginia. Jonathan is a huge fan of Smoked. When they come visit UVA or football games, he says they come to your restaurant and then drive to Charlottesville. It is so true. His food is that good, guys. When did you make the mind shift change of going from food cart and much lower overhead to, was it Piedmont Place?
Yeah.
Going to Piedmont Place, signing a lease. I mean, long-term commitment. I don't know, exponentially, considerably more overhead. I mean, that's ballsy.
Anybody who's out there doing anything, there's that moment of risk, which I think I love. I kind of like the chase. To me, that's the fun part, is the grind, the building, the idea.
Me too.
The day it opens, you go. Sometimes I look, I go, what have I done? And there's that moment of truth. But I just think we live in certainly a great community that if you do what you say you're going to do and you put it out there, there's a very loyal base that's willing to come out there and support it. I hand it to growing up with a strong work ethic. I'll work until the work's done. I guess at some point, we're on this planet one time, let it go. So,
what was growing up like? Where'd you grow up? What was it like?
I'm a Charlottesvillian. I've lived all over. My dad was a builder my whole life, so I've lived in every community of Charlottesville and Albemarle County, probably.
So you guys did the build the home, live there for 2 years, and then sell?
That's it, 24 months.
That's the builder lifestyle. Yeah.
18 to 24 months.
Yeah.
I had a great childhood. I got great parents. I've got a younger sister who lives down in Asheville, another great food town.
Love Asheville.
Yeah, great. I went to Albemarle High School, went from there to Penn State. I had a great childhood, played sports. I'm super blessed, super fortunate, and just fell in love with cooking. So.
How'd you get into food?
Oh, this is a great. All right, so I went to Penn State, and I was a finance major, and I sat through my first 1,200-person lecture, And I was like, oh, this isn't going to do.
Were you miserable?
I just was like, they don't know I'm here, so it probably means I don't need to come here, right? So things weren't going real well in attendance that freshman year, and so I was coming up on sophomore year, and I said, where can I get a job when this thing's over?
Sounds like me at UVA, dude.
Yeah, so I was like, what's the high placement? And we had a hotel and restaurant management. It was like 90% or something, 95% placement. I said, well, looks like we're doing that. So then I change my major, and they say, well, you have to have 1,000 work hours by the time you get this degree. And I said, and they go, you're already a year behind. And I said, oh, well, that's great. And they go, and all the jobs, the waiter jobs are taken, so you'll be lucky if you can find a kitchen job. So I was like, sweet, this is going to be awesome. So I ended up working for one of the university-owned cafes on campus.
So this is like the Aramark version of Penn State?
Yeah, but this was actually run by the hotel and restaurant department.
Okay.
It was in their building, and part of the curriculum was a culinary thing, so students would pass through this kitchen and they would produce food. So I became a staff member there, and I mean, I think the first week I withdrew from school, went and started cooking in restaurants, and transferred to Johnson Wales and did some culinary work down there, and just been cooking ever since. Yeah, I was just like, oh, you get paid to do this? That's pretty cool. So just, who knows, right?
You found your passion.
I did, yeah, all just kind of came together one day. So awesome.
Vanessa Parkhill says, we are Penn State.
Oh, there you go.
Kelly
Tough loss last week, but we'll worry about it.
You guys took the loss. Franklin says you guys weren't faking any injuries over there. Did you see that?
I know.
Yeah, so you're a college football fan?
I am to a degree. I can't say I have a ton of time, but I watch my Wahoos and my Nittany Lions.
There you go. Kelly Tripp watching the program. He says, been in the game for a long time, and I will tell you hands down, this dude gets food better than anyone I have ever met. Taste Shack will crush, and I look forward to having it as a weekly option.
That's my man right there. I appreciate that, Kelly.
What's that mean to you?
Well, he was my partner on the smoked ride, so that means a lot. Yeah, we were on the grind together there for a long time, making that thing happen, and he has a wealth of restaurant knowledge as well. So that means a lot. Thanks a lot for that, Kel. And he's crushing it now with Story House and Realty and Sasha and all that stuff, and brand new baby. So
brand new baby, father right there. I first met Kelly over beers at the Lazy Parrot 1.0 playing Golden Tee when he was coming out from Spring Creek.
You gotta watch that guy.
Yeah, he was nasty at Golden Tee. He's nasty at Golden Tee. All right, let's talk the new brand. Let's talk Taste Shack. Let's talk expectations. Let's talk the name behind it. I freaking love the name. I mean, Taste Shack is brilliant.
Yeah.
Show's yours.
No. So it started out as Taste, which apparently was not that original of a name, since when it came back on the DBA search for doing business as, it was everywhere. Well, not as creative as I thought it was. And the Shack part came about because I was actually staring across the spaces over in the former Baja Bean / Michoacana on 29 across from Walmart and Umansky, and I was looking at the Umansky building, and I wanted the suits to feel comfortable coming in, and I also wanted the mechanics and everybody else that's grinding in the back, the blue collars, to feel comfortable coming in, and the Shack part kind of came into play there. It is a Shack. It's everyone's welcome. Muddy boots, suit and tie, dirty cleats from the soccer games. We just want families. We want it to be a good, positive place. Where if you're getting your 30-minute lunch break from the day, you can kick back and relax and get a great meal at a great price with some great customer service. Not a novel concept, but not always executed on all the areas. This is a carving board on steroids. I mean, it's just the only way I can really describe it. We've expanded a little bit of a snacks appetizer menu. We've got a list of house-made salads. We're roasting our own meats again, turkeys and corned beefs and hams. We're shaving ribeye for steak and cheese. We're doing smash burgers. We're doing fried chicken sandwiches, hand-cut fries. Again, nothing revolutionary in terms of invention, but hopefully top-notch when it comes to execution. So, yeah, it's that place. We just want to be that place again.
Multiple people are asking details on the menu.
Oh, yeah.
Give us the nitty-gritty in the menu. People are asking about the milkshake. People are asking about cookies. People are asking about barbecue. People are asking about the grilled cheese on steroids.
The grilled cheese. So one of the dishes is the Texas Toast grilled cheese. It comes with tomato soup because that's how grilled cheese should be served.
Amen, brother.
So we got that kind of comfort food going. We've got a Texas Toast BLT with enough bacon to top not only your sandwich, but everyone who's sitting at your table sandwich. Smash burgers off the griddle. We're using Martin's rolls, the premier roll, in my opinion, in the industry. We've got our version of the fried chicken sandwich, which we're very proud of, with house-made pickles and Duke's mayonnaise. What else? We're doing our own pastrami. We've got hand-cut fries and onion rings and all the cold salads. We've even got salads with onion rings on it. So if you're wanting to pretend like you're being healthy one day, come get the Texas chop salad. Lots of desserts because everybody loves dessert. Cupcakes and cookies and brownies and all the such. It's a counter service model. You'll come in, you'll grab your own drink, grab a dessert out of the case if you want it. You'll step up to the register. We also have self-serve kiosks. So if the place is jamming, we've got a bunch of terminals people can come and step up and do their own thing once they're comfortable with the menu. So we're trying to keep it moving, keep it mobile, and we've got 60 seats if you feel like pulling up a chair and eating in. So it's pretty simple on the surface. Now we just got to execute it.
Jackson has got a question. Jackson Holland. First, Scott Aaronworth says he'll be there in February for his birthday trip. Jackson Holland says, please tell me you have happy hour. I work right around the corner. The food sounds amazing, but I need a beer or two before I get home to the family.
No beer to start, Jackson. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. We're 11 to 7 Monday through Friday, so we are shooting for the lunch crowd and the dinner rush on the way home. But come get drunk on some onion rings or something like that, and the steak and cheese will put you in the right place of mind.
There you go. How about the counter service piece? I mean, is that something you learned from COVID? Is that an innovation from COVID there?
This thing is set up to be socially distanced, and we've got the bottled and canned drinks, because when we first hit that, we shut down fountain drinks and things that were common use. Just trying to be prepared for anything that comes along, that if they do shut down a dining room, we still have a really good model to put out mobile food, as can be seen by the fast food industry. Obviously, to-go and mobile product has just absolutely skyrocketed. Just COVID-minded, for sure. Customer safety and, the safety of our staff. We want to keep our staff where they feel safe and in a good spot as well. So.
This question's coming from Cameron Savage. He's salivating for the food here, and he's asking for a website. Wants to check it out online.
It's coming. It's taste-shack.com. It will get launched probably into this week. We do have a Facebook page up. Jerry will probably kill me when he sees the rudimentary site we have going, but
the food speaks for itself.
I'm gonna let him carry me with the social media today.
Well, we're doing that. You now have 3 states watching the program: Richmond, Virginia. When you come here to Charlottesville for food, Taste Shack. All right, let's talk about family. Let's talk about that better half. Let's talk about what they mean to you.
Much better half. I'm very fortunate to have my wife Candace. This is 21 years.
Oh, congratulations.
This year. I got two little kids, a 6-year-old boy named Cooper, and my daughter's almost 5, and her name is Carter. And that's why we get up and do it every day. They're definitely, that family's definitely the thing I'm most proud of. It all kind of comes second after that. I'm just a super blessed guy. I don't know why. Maybe there's something waiting for me at the end that's
because you're a good
payback. But just very, very fortunate. A lot of support. My wife is a very busy woman, and she's been nothing but supportive and helpful in getting things going for me.
How about the challenges of being not only a chef, not only working in the restaurant business in Charlottesville, where there are tons of restaurants per capita, but doing that as a husband and father, that ain't no easy task.
Yeah, that one, I hate to complain about that one because that one's a gift. Yeah, I didn't know I thought I was busy before kids, and then you have kids and you're like, oh man, I had so much time.
I know. And I only have one and you have two.
Yeah, I think as soon as you have one, everything changes.
Yeah.
I am definitely always a student on learning to be a parent and a husband, which she will let you know that for sure.
So will my wife.
But yeah, makes my life the craziest, but it also makes my life the fullest. So whatever that balance is, you just get up and do it.
Welcome Arlington and McLean to the program. Martinsville, welcome to the broadcast. Folks outside Nashville, welcome to the broadcast. Folks in Asheville, which very well could be your family, on the broadcast right here. All right, so timeline for Taste Shack, grand opening, when you think it's going to be clicking on all cylinders, when you want to see a line of 500 people.
Oh, well, your post definitely we went from 0 Facebook people to now my phone's been buzzing the whole time here with new followers. We're gonna go grassroots again, man. We know where we come from. We're gonna shoot to open Wednesday of next week. So I think we'll have some product ready to push out there. I'll post the menu later today on our Facebook. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put the grand opening sign. I think we're gonna take the coming soon sign down and just try and get it right one order at a time. And hopefully they'll be lined up, but we'll keep grinding until we get there.
Jennifer asked this question. Justin, who do you look up to food-wise and chef-wise in this community? Great question.
Well, this town is blessed, definitely. There's a lot of talent in this town. My good friend Christian Kelly at Maya.
Love Christian.
He's been a huge supporter, and that's a guy who definitely knows his food. Ian Redshaw, in the past, I've had meetings with him, and he's a super talented guy. The whole, Lampo crew with Lauren and them, we are not, and I hear I need to get to Keswick is what I really need to hear.
To what, to Marigold?
I hear it's...
Oh my gosh. Dude.
Yeah, so
I
can't speak, but I'm going to put that on my list, even though I haven't been there yet. But we're just blessed. I hate doing a list because I know I'm going to forget everybody I should be speaking of. But Charlottesville's definitely not short on talent, and there's guys in the game. Dean. There's just so many people that can really. We're super blessed for the size of our town, for the talent pool, and yeah, I love eating, and I love Charlottesville for that. So
amen. So 2 more questions. We'll wrap the last question around Taste Shack and why we should all come out and patronize and support this business. I have a feeling once the coming soon sign comes down after this interview, you're gonna be freaking crazy busy. But before I do, Alex Serpy and Nicholas Serpy, welcome to the show. You now have Buckhead, Georgia, on the broadcast. A lot of UVA alum down in Buckhead, which is right in Atlanta. Favorite dish, or few favorite dishes in Charlottesville, not tied to Justin?
Man, oh man, this is a toughie.
And you can't take the safe road on this. You gotta give me a couple.
Yeah, all right, here we go. I tell you what I really love is Little Manilas.
Okay. Food truck?
Yeah, but I've been hitting them in the dairy market lately with
Okay.
Fernando. He renders this pork belly down for one of his proteins over there. That's just like meat candy. That's like one of my little I'll be late getting home because I made a little stop by there. Man, there's so much good food. Oh boy. All right, let's think here. What's a go-to? I love the greens on the ribs because I like everybody else's barbecue more than mine. I love Christian for his greens and his ribs over at Maya.
You are a kind person.
And I'll tell you, because I could keep going on all of these. There is a food truck, black food truck, I think it's Chavez, that is next to the Asian market on 29.
Okay.
That has the best tacos in town.
Get out of town. Okay, so I'm learning something here from you. I eat a lot of food.
It's Fitzgerald Tire. They're in the parking lot. There's a Salvadorian truck to the left, which is super solid, but I'm at this place like 3 times a week.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it's that good. It's like Taco Naco used to be up there for me.
I remember Taco Naco. I've had Taco Naco.
And this is next level. Yeah, this is next level.
And what is it called?
Chavez.
Chavez?
It just says Chavez on the black truck. I don't know,
okay.
Man. And they're super sweet, and they crank the food out, and there's a ton of it, and it's man, it's good. I might have to go there after this, actually.
Okay, Chavez. I might have to go with you.
Yeah, it's super solid.
Chavez. All right, we're going to close on this. Got a hell of a lot of people watching 4 states on the feed right here. My friend, Taste Shack. Tell us what we can expect and why we should support you and go balls to the wall. And next Wednesday, make you pull your hair out and have a line outside the door.
No, I think we have to prove ourselves always, and what we're trying to prove is that we've got high quality food, consistent, great prices, great service. We aim to be quick, keep you moving on your lunch hour or on your way home for dinner. We can promise you we're going to do the best we can every day with every meal, and other than that, you guys, the public is the ultimate judge on this, so I can say it all day long, but if you try it and you like it, come back and see us again.
You are going to crush it.
Appreciate it.
This guy is a good man. I wish you the best. My family will be there constantly. My wife literally texted me and said, Jerry, you know where we're going to be on Wednesday? So you may see me Wednesday and probably the weekend with our kid as well. Love your family. Love you. Love seeing you at ACAC. You're a great dad. I love seeing you interact with your kids in the pool or around the gym. I cannot wait for you to just have organized chaos again.
Let's do it.
Taste Shack.
Let's do it.
My friend, thank you kindly
Thanks,
for
Jerry.
joining
I really
us.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a good one, guys. So we're going to have in a matter of moments, Jody and Chandler here on the program. J-Dubs, if we can give them some instructions. So Jody, what we're going to do is we'll have you go stage right around our studio camera. Chandler, we'll have you go first because you're going to be sitting inside here. Thank you, Justin. You were in Fuego. You have a good one. Take care. So, folks, if you have any commentary that you'd like to offer for Jody and Chandler, please put it in the feed. We are going to highlight the Virginia Film Festival here on the I Love CVille Show with so much to cover and 4 states on the broadcast. Chandler, you are going to be here in the center. She is the fabulous program manager for the Virginia Film Festival. And Jody, the dapper Don over there, always looking sharp. So I'll give you guys on the fly. This is live programming. Your camera is the one up top on the double tripod. And Jody, yours is right in front of you here. You're one shot. So you are now on the program. 5 states on the broadcast. Jody Kielbasa, I love when you come to the program. In fact, this is what I'm going to do for Jody Kielbasa. Give him the round of applause because this guy's just fantastic, people. My friend, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming back.
Oh, Jerry, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Chandler, we're going to get to you as well. Jody, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Jody Kielbasa, Vice Provost of the Arts and Director of the Virginia Film Festival for the University of Virginia, and always a privilege to be here in Charlottesville and part of the community.
Amen. Chandler, the show is yours. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Chandler Ferrebee. I'm the program manager for the festival. I'm very happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. We have a film festival this month, end of October, that everyone in the community is excited for. Put that excitement and momentum in perspective, Jody.
Well, I mean, first of all, we're back in theaters live. That in and of itself for us is a major accomplishment, and we've received just resounding applause and thanks from the community so far in support of that. Thank you. We're excited to be back, and we're trying to put this in place as carefully and as safely for our community as possible. We have a lot of COVID protocols in place, but nonetheless, you'll be able to return to the Paramount Theater, to the Culberth Auditorium on the grounds of the University of Virginia, and to the Violet Crown on the downtown mall to see over 85 films in person, that incredible experience in the theater, a shared communal experience, laugh and cry, and see an incredible slate of really, really terrific films. I'm really proud of the program this year. It's tightly curated, fewer films perhaps in the past, fewer conversations, but we've got some exciting guests coming in. It'll look like the festival has in the past with these great conversations, and we've got some of the best films that are being released later this fall on our slate this year. So we're also, backed by popular demand, doing our drive-in movie series that we launched last year during the height of the pandemic. So we're fortunate we're not going to have to be virtual again this year. For people that are still leery about going to the theaters.
Dude, you don't know how excited I am to just be able to do this.
Yes, I know.
Right?
I mean, what a not to be masked and be able to look into people's eyes and see the expression on their face and to be able to carry on a conversation is such a wonderful thing.
It's such a wonderful thing. And Chandler, jump in anytime you want here. Like for Jody, for a year plus, I've been doing this show with guests virtually through this computer. And I did not realize how much of my heart and soul was impacted by not seeing people and the human connection of this. And I want to first give you props and kudos and praise and champion you guys and your team for making the best of the situation last year, because that was where we were all left in, is do the best you can with what you got, and your team did. But good Lord, to have it back how it is now, my friend, I mean, that is amazing.
Well, we're thrilled. I know how exciting this has been, this process for Chandler to return as well, and you might want to speak a little
Absolutely,
bit about that.
yeah. Last year I oversaw the recording of, I think, 40 conversations, and there was definitely some cool moments. I was on a Zoom call with Annette Bening. Like, you don't get to do that every day, but I missed just those small interactions with filmmakers. I miss them being here, being at parties, being at the screenings, and getting them to meet each other too. Like, I'm so happy we can return to that.
What do you think, Jody?
Well, I mean, I think our audience knows if they've attended the Virginia Film Festival in the past, there's an energy out there. It's electric. You have the lines going into the Paramount theaters. You have filmmakers, and you have movie stars that are wandering the downtown mall, and there's a palpable excitement in the air during the festival. Maybe it's the fall air. I'd like to think it's just our movies creating that as well, but it's a wonderful mix of great films, great art, celebrating the art of filmmaking, bringing in some incredible artists, and also some incredible discussions around the topics that these films are delivering. And people that are generally really excited to see films that are being talked about, have Oscar buzz, to see them a month, 2 months before they're going to be released to the general public. All makes up the Virginia Film Festival that we love.
Bashir watching the program. We love you, Bashir. He says, kudos to Jody. This is from Bashir, the restaurant in the downtown mall.
Thank you, Bashir.
Ray Cadell says, I miss playing the gala with my band.
Yes.
Ray Cadell watching the program here. Folks, you have 5 states on our heat map watching you guys on the program here. Can you put in perspective the health and safety protocols that are in play? We are all committed to health and safety as we head out of this pandemic. We all want to continue moving forward. We're so pro-vaccination on this network. We're so pro-safety and protocols. Chandler, why don't you take that one for us?
Yeah, so masks are required at all venues, and you will have to show proof of vaccination or a negative test at the Paramount in accordance with their policies, and all of our guests will be rapid tested before they go on stage.
Amen.
Yeah.
Very well done. So, as my friend John Kelly says, let's get to what the people really want to hear about, and that's the movies. Jody, the movies.
Well, we have an extraordinary slate of films this year. We really didn't know how that process was going to go. We were very concerned because a lot of Hollywood has been holding on to a lot of their films, not sure when they would release them for the obvious reasons of how would they do in theaters, are people back? And we ended up with one of the strongest programs that we've had in years. We open up with Wes Anderson's, hotly anticipated new release, The French Dispatch. This has a remarkable lineup of, his regulars in films, but Hollywood royalty, people like Owen Wilson and Bill Murray and Tilda Swinton and Léa Seydoux and Bob Balaban. And I run out. There's at least 20 major Hollywood stars in this film. And if you are a fan of Wes Anderson, you're going to love this film. It is a loving look at journalism that is an homage to the New Yorker magazine and other similar publications. It has that usual Wes Anderson quirkiness that I love.
I love that.
And we're thrilled to be able to open the festival with this film. We have some other really great high-profile titles. Our centerpiece film has received universal acclaim at Venice and Toronto and Telluride, and that is the Jane Campion's new film, The Power of the Dog, that stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Kristen Dunst, and Jesse Plemons. It's a Western just beyond the turn of the century. It's a really powerful and compelling film. Our closing night film is sweet and tender and stars Joaquin Phoenix and his relationship with a young boy and how it turns his life around, and also the young boy's life as well. It's a wonderful film to close the festival on. Just some amazing other titles that we have as well during the festival. And obviously a lot of our larger Hollywood films are at the Paramount that are going to be big fall releases that have Oscar buzz, like Last Night in Soho, The Harder They Fall. These are big titles that have played the festival circuit at the last couple of months, and there's a tremendous amount of buzz on. But the festival program itself is really deep, and I know Chandler can offer a lot of gems along this line as well.
Very nicely done, Jody. Very nicely done. Chandler, the show's yours.
Yeah. There's one film that it won the Tribeca Award for Best Documentary in 2020, and they didn't want to play virtually anywhere. So I've seen this film. I've been obsessed with this film for like a year. It's called Socks on Fire. And it's directed by Beau McGuire, who his bio reads that he is the queer son of a Waffle House line chef and his best third shift waitress.
Wow.
He's just incredible. He trained under Spike Lee, and this documentary is about how after his beloved grandmother dies, his homophobic aunt locks his drag queen uncle out of the house, and that whole family feud. And he'll be here in conversation. And it's a fabulous film. Jeremy O'Harris is another guest I'm so excited about. He was nominated for 12 Tonys for his play Slave Play. He's incredible. He actually wrote Slave Play while he was still in graduate school at Yale, and it was on Broadway while he was at Yale. And he's going to be here. He co-wrote the film Zola, which came out earlier this year, and we're going to give him the American Perspectives Award for Outstanding Achievement in Cinema and have a conversation with him. And he's actually from Danville, which is an incredible Virginia story to watch someone come from a small town in Virginia and rise up in that way.
Amen. Amen. So questions and comments from the audience, guys. Anywhere you're watching, questions and comments or positive perspective for Jody and Chandler, put them in the feed. We're live on every social platform known to mankind. We will get to them now. This is from Allison. Allison has this for you, Jody. One of my favorite aspects of the film festival is the guests that come.
Well,
can you tell us who's coming?
I certainly can. I'm going to talk about throwing to Chandler on this, but mention that we have the incredible actress Martha Plimpton coming in, and Jeremy O'Harris, who recently received 12 Tony nominations, which I believe was a record for Slave Play that was on Broadway, and is a Danville, Virginia native. But Chandler, take it away.
Yeah. As I mentioned, Jeremy will be here, and he has a ton of projects coming up. He's a co-producer on the second season of Euphoria. He was in Gossip Girl. He's going to be in the second season of Emily in Paris. He's kind of everywhere, like really the future of Hollywood. And he's also producing a ton of theater and his own film. So if you don't recognize his name now, you'll want to come see him so you can say you did later on. And Martha Plimpton is going to come here around her film Mass, and we're going to do a tribute to her. And Mass, I was lucky enough to see at Sundance earlier this year. And it is just an incredibly powerful film. It's really just like a cast of 4, and it's about 2 sets of parents who meet in the basement of a church to discuss a school shooting where one of their sons was the perpetrator and one was a victim. And it's heavy, but it's incredible. And I feel like film festivals are the time to kind of take a chance on something that you might not pick for Friday night date night.
Amen.
Yeah.
You're on a roll, Chandler. You should talk about Dopesick as well.
Dopesick is it's a fantastic new show on Hulu. I've been lucky enough to see, I think, 7 of the 9 episodes, and every time one
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton. Every time one hits my inbox, I stop what I'm doing and go watch it. Like,
that good?
It's that good. It reminds me a little bit of like kind of Spotlight, where it's about something very heavy, but they kind of make it into a thriller. They make it very exciting and also educational and moving. And the showrunner, Danny Strong, who is also an actor who's been on Gilmore Girls and Buffy and Mad Men, is going to be here along with the author of the book, Dope Sick, Beth Macy.
Very cool. You guys are amazing. Ray Cadell just said just one more thing that makes Charlottesville special, almost an embarrassment of entertainment riches in this town. The Virginia Film Festival is that special. This is from Kelly Howard. She says, Jerry, please ask your guests if they've gone to movies in person this year and which ones have stood out for them.
Well, Chandler, you've been a regular at the movie theaters.
I have.
Have been.
I've gone pretty regularly. You know, I'm a big supporter of in-person theater, and I wear my mask. And honestly, a lot of time during the depths of the pandemic, we'd go in and we'd be the only ones there. And I was like, this is the most socially distanced thing I could possibly do. But Zola was definitely one that stood out to me, and I'm happy that we're going to be able to show that. I think the score for that in that movie is amazing. The screenplay is amazing. Every actor in it is incredible. It has Nicholas Braun, who plays Cousin Greg on Succession, so like tons of recognizables there. Also seen a lot of Marvel stuff. Shang-Chi was actually really excellent. I saw it twice.
It's amazing. How about you, Jody?
So I've been out less at the movie theaters, and I've been consuming most of my films by casting them up on the big screen from the links that we receive as reviewing films for the festival. Of course, we did get to see The French Dispatch on the big screen, which was a real pleasure, and that's one of the joys, of running the Virginia Film Festival, is we get to see all of these films in advance, and that takes a lot of time. Chandler's an endless consumer of films, and I have another job at the university as vice provost for the arts, so she's going to see almost everything as it comes out, even as I remain focused on what we can consider for the festival before essentially it's released to the general public. So I would say that probably from June to now, I don't get out as much to see what's in current release.
How about this? How do we think or characterize, assess, grade the industry as it managed the pandemic and has come out of the pandemic? Chandler, for you.
I've really been impressed with how a lot of distributors have handled the situation at Neon, especially when we're showing a bunch of their films. Spencer's one of them. They adapted really quickly and realized that they need to put things out virtually, and they did this amazing thing where they partnered with not only movie theaters but also libraries and museums, where they would get a cut of the tickets if people bought a virtual ticket through their website. So it was really incredible to see that sort of thing. And we've also heard people talk about like just the accessibility angle, about how they, for whatever reason, couldn't get out to movie theaters or couldn't go see conversations, and putting it online has really made it more democratic and a lot more accessible. And I hope we can kind of live with both of these things, because I think they're both very important.
I mean, I'm torn on this. I want your perspective, if you could, Jody, on that topic. I like music, streaming a show like this. The internet offers this democratic, like your word, anyone can do it. You don't have to have deep pockets to get in front of a ton of people. That being said, the in-person experience of a theater and a crowd of 300 or 400 people feeling, your word, a palpable buzz in the studio, where you're at the edge of your seat if you're scared, or you're rolling in laughter with a group of 300 or 400 people, and that group makes that laughter even more impactful for your soul or for your family, or if you're sharing an experience with your 3.5-year-old son for the first time and you get to see him experience a film for the first time, and as a proud dad, you're watching him as much as the screen. You only get that in a movie theater. So I'm kind of torn on this streaming versus in-person, anywhere you want to go on this.
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of in-person. And I think in this period in my life, because I also have a family and I have kids that I spend a lot of time in, you almost get overwhelmed by the content. On the other hand, for my friends that are artists and performers out in Los Angeles and other places, I'm excited for them, because there is such a need for content with all these streaming services now, that I think that the one way that Hollywood was able to make lemonade out of the lemons during the pandemic was this need for content, and it's just coming out constantly. They're going to move back to exhibition. but they're also going to have this other platform as well, which they're taking full advantage of. So people are able to exploit that in a good way by creating more product. It's creating more jobs, more stories are being told. There's more opportunities for, I think, smaller stories as well, because so often theaters are driven by blockbuster films today, that there's a whole different line of stories that can be shared through streaming platforms. And I think that's healthy, and that's good. For me, I'm old school. I love being in a theater. I love going to see these films on big screens, because that's just an extraordinary experience, and feeling that energy from the crowd and being able to talk to people afterwards. It's just not the same as watching it at home, I think.
Yeah, and on that, we had a lot of discussions about whether to keep virtual this year, whether to go back to in-person. And like Jody said, there's so much available online, it's almost overwhelming. And with a number of iconic movie houses across the country closing during the pandemic, I really think film festivals are going to be one of the important ways to support the in-person theater experience.
I've been so excited for this interview. John Kelly helped set this up. Thank you, JK. The Many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos prequel. I'm a diehard Sopranos fan. One of my favorite series of all time, if not number one. And for an extended, all summer going into the fall, I've been chomping at the bit to watch this. It was released a couple weeks ago, 2 Fridays ago to be exact, and I was there at 12:01 a.m., ready to watch it on a Friday. What did you guys make of the strategy of releasing in theater and on HBO Max streaming at the exact same time? David Chase, the writer, the producer, the visionary behind The Sopranos, not a fan. In fact, his exact words on record were, if I had known HBO was going to do this, I probably would not have been a part of the Many Saints of Newark creation. From my standpoint, you mentioned this, having a 3.5-year-old, having that option at home has allowed me to OD on this film like 4 or 5 different times in a 10-day period here. So what do you guys make of the release at the exact same time strategy?
Yeah, I feel, again, one of two ways about it. And like Denis Villeneuve, who directed Dune, was very upset about it. And I think Dune is a film I definitely want to see on the big screen. But then there's also been other films that I might not have gone out to see that I did watch day and date on HBO Max. And actually one of our board members, John Lee Hancock, directed a film called The Little Things that was, I think, the first one to drop on HBO Max. And he gave an interview.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Mark Johnson, another board member, produced it. And they talked about how they were just happy that HBO was able to adapt and that people were able to see their film instead of, because when you've made something, you want to get it out there instead of holding it even longer.
So I'm going to go out on a limb because I'm not in David Chase's head here, and don't know him personally. But my guess is that this is someone who, created this incredible series, The Sopranos, that was on television originally, and now he's made a film of that. And so the concept of having it on the big screen, or at least first on the big screen before it moved back into television, was something that was important to him to have that experience. And so I think he probably felt that this undercut that experience for him. And I can imagine, for years, for many, many years, and I think that has begun to change significantly. In Hollywood, there were 2 tiers, the big screen and the little screen. And the big screen was always, being a film director, was perceived as top tier, and television less. But that has changed, and The Sopranos was one of the series that really began to change that narrative. And for actors as well, and actors will share this, although they still love doing films, and there's a certain, not only importance, but a feeling associated with that a movie star is one thing and a television star is another. That has changed and morphed over the years, and the actors love that concept of getting into a character's skin and living in that character for many episodes over many years, because the creative arc of that is really quite extraordinary. In a film, you might be on that set for a month, it could be 6 months, but that's a compressed time to develop that character. You don't have that luxury. So a lot of the actors really love that idea with a really excellent, well-written, well-shot, well-crafted series that they can really live in the character and develop that over time.
Well said. Certainly us viewers too, to have the consistency of a series over multiple episodes, over multiple years, where we can pour our heart and soul into it, just like the actors and the producers and the writers and the directors have done. You got the wheels turning over here, I can tell. What are you thinking here?
Oh, I was just thinking about, how, like what Jody was saying about how series have kind of, there's so much to explore there, and I was just thinking about some of my favorite series.
Let me throw this to you, and this is a question that's coming in from, we still have Buckhead watching. Buckhead, there's a tremendous amount of UVA alumni in Atlanta. I think that's
They
the
need to
time.
come up for the festival.
Come to the festival. I'm going to ask you guys where we can get tickets. If you have questions, comments, perspective, you want to ask Jody or Chandler, put them in the feed. I'm going to get to these comments here. This is one from Buckhead. I'm going to butcher your last name, so I'm going to use your first name only. Carter S. Jody and Chandler, what are your thoughts of streaming platforms getting in the production business? That's a hell of a question.
It is. I think it can be great. I mean, you look at Netflix and Squid Game, especially, and how that's become a global phenomenon, and Netflix has put so much money into developing original Korean content, and now we know that, it doesn't, a Korean show can be the top watched show on Netflix worldwide, and I think that's really incredible, and something that really great that's come out of it is the globalization of media that's come out of that.
What do you think,
I
Jody?
think people who develop films, directors, artists, storytellers are excited about it because a lot of projects are being greenlit that might take years through the more traditional studio system to develop, or might not get made at all, because they need that content and they're more willing to take a risk on it. And they also have very deep pockets when you're looking at Amazon and Netflix and some of these other companies as well.
Nicholas Erpy watching the program. Nicholas, you always have great commentary. He says this, I'm very, very excited for Dune. I love Dennis, help me with his last name.
Villeneuve.
There we go. Thank you, Chandler. Thank you very much. I love Dennis's work. I love the movie theater experience, but love being able to see things in my own home. Very interesting show today. Thank you very much, Nicholas, for saying that. We appreciate you. Other comments coming in. Kevin Higgins. Charlottesville's a city on the move with local musicians. Do we also see the same momentum happening with theaters in Charlottesville?
I think so. I know the Paramount has been getting back at it and selling events, and they're back to in-person events too, which is great, and we're very happy to be part of bringing theaters back online in Charlottesville.
What do you think, Jody?
Well, I mean, as a festival, we're always thrilled to screen at the Paramount Theater. It's actually precious few festivals have a classic movie palace like the Paramount Theater, which I believe was built in 1931 and been lovingly restored. I was just part of an announcement at the University of Virginia that we're going to be building a major performing arts center as well on the Emmett Ivy corridor, and that's probably several years down the road from now, but nonetheless, that is an opportunity in the future. The festival will always be at the Paramount, but we'll be able to screen there as well, and also a lot of performances will be able to be presented there, both from the university and from other areas as well. So that's a good thing for the future of Charlottesville. We've got the incredible Regal Cinemas here in town. We've got the Alamo Draft House. We've got the Violet Crown. And we also have Lighthouse, which also serves still as a movie theater from time to time, which is really, really great. So it's nice to see these occurrences, even since I moved here a little over 12 years ago. And I think Charlottesville's definitely ready to support that.
Olivia Branch, welcome to the broadcast. Hello, Keswick, Virginia. Judah's going to get some behind-the-scenes photos if you guys want to smile at him. Jody, I'll throw this question to you, and this is the toughest one you're going to hear today.
Oh, no.
This is from Lauren. Jerry, does Jody have a favorite Virginia film festival? In fact, I'll give you a chance to smile here as I read her question a little slower. Does Jody have a favorite Virginia film festival? And if he does, please ask him very pointedly why it is his favorite.
Okay, I guess it's still going to come down for me to the year that we screened All the President's Men. It was the 40th anniversary of the break-in of Watergate. It was also 4 days before the re-election of President Barack Obama, the second election. And we had Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein in as special guests, and Governor Gerald Baliles moderated the conversation from the stage afterwards. And I remember it was just absolutely electric. I had read All the President's Men when I was in high school. I loved the movie with Hoffman and Redford, and they were up on the stage, and at one moment, Governor Belial said, so, you know that scene in the movie where Carl Bernstein goes into the elevator, and he suddenly looks afraid? He said, did that really happen, and did you think you were maybe at risk for your life? And Carl Bernstein said, oh yeah, absolutely. We really thought we could get killed. And you could just feel chills. Everybody, I mean, you could just see people go like this in the audience. It was extraordinary. And people were coming out afterwards and just saying, oh my gosh. And this was not that long after Mark Felt was revealed as Deep Throat. And one of the very first times they were together in public to have this discussion before a live audience. So imagine the reveal that happened that night. These are people who made history, who changed history. And to me, that's really significant.
Dude, don't you love Jody's passion?
I do.
I mean, it's so contagious.
No, I'm lucky to work with him.
I love Jody's passion. Same question for you. A favorite festival and why?
I do, and I love the ones that I've worked on, of course, but my favorite...
How many have you done?
This is my fourth.
Okay, so you have a lot of experience to pull from.
Yeah, but my favorite, I think, was in 2010. I had just moved to Charlottesville. I was 16.
Get out.
Yeah, and it was Jody's second festival, and the first without a theme, and I saw Black Swan in 127 hours at the Culver Theater, the first night, and it just totally opened my mind to what a career in film could look like. Like, I'd always loved media and I'd always loved entertainment, but when you're in school, they don't say, you could be a film festival programmer. That's not something they're telling you about. They don't tell you about how many...
There's a whole career track out there.
Yeah, how do you do that? And if you finish your thought, and then I want the follow-up, how do you do that? First your thought.
Yeah, but it just absolutely changed my life. And I remember sitting there thinking, I want to work for this festival, and here I am. But how did I do that? A lot of internships, I actually programmed at Vinegar Hill Theater too, and that was a huge learning process, just like trial by fire, and I really enjoyed doing that there, and I got to meet so many professors and moderate conversations and learn how to book a film, and then I was a communications manager at the film festival, and I just worked my way up from there, and I've been very lucky.
You guys are amazing. We are the lucky ones to have you guys and your team in this festival, in this community. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, and then we'll close the interview. And then, folks, I'll close with some commentary of my own. How do you guys pick the themes of the festivals? I mean, is that a challenge? I would imagine that's not an easy task, right?
So I think generally the themes find us
They do?
every year, in a sense. I will say that, certainly for this is my 14th Virginia Film Festival, so the 14 years I've been involved with the festival now, issues of civil rights and social justice have really been, sometimes they've been right front and center, but you can look at any program from any year and you will find the films that speak to that. It's been an important part of the festival, important part of what I believe in and who I am as well, and I think also what the university has become committed to as well. So we continue that theme every year and explore different facets of it. But a lot of the films find us every year, and we always want to make sure that there are some strong documentaries and great, narrative features and a strong slate of international films, because it's important to open up a window on other cultures as well, and that's a great way to be able to do that for us. But Chandler, talk about what you think about some of the themes too, and how
yeah, I totally agree, and I will say, I watch films for a large portion of the year, as my job, and that helps because I'm seeing them also close together, so a lot of times they'll connect to each other kind of organically. And with the American Perspective series, which is one that I really love curating, and it's what I think is, a snapshot of the American experience and all of its diversity. And or like our LGBTQIA series, or our Korean film series is one I'm really passionate about, and I'm happy to work with Hae-yeon Moon at UVA to curate that.
I might add just very quickly
Please?
that the last couple of years, the last 2 years, we've sometimes heard some criticism that the festival is kind of dark. And I was like, it's because the world's kind of dark right now. And the artists out there are reflecting that world. I think that this year we have a lighter program. I'm not saying that there's not some dark and very powerful films in the festival. Indeed, there are. But there's also some really fun, quirky, different films. It feels a little lighter this year. And, maybe... hopefully, as we're coming out of a pandemic, that's a reflection of things to come, I hope.
Well said, Jody. All right, we'll close with this, guys, and then We'll have you exit stage left there. How do we buy tickets? How can we get involved? Everyone's excited.
Yeah, you can buy tickets right now on virginiafilmfestival.org or through the UVA Arts box office, and you can also go to our website to volunteer.
I love it. Jody, any final thoughts?
You know, we've got a great website. Go on. It's very visual. It's easy to navigate. The tickets are easy to get there. One thing, if it says sold out, think about coming the night before, about an hour before. Almost every film that's sold out, we always open up a handful, sometimes as many as 25 tickets at the last minute. So you know, give it a shot. That's what people do at festivals around the country. All the festivals we do, they show up, and generally we'll find a way to get you in. Can't guarantee it, but we encourage you to do that. We've got a great program. I think there's a little something for everyone. We've got Halloween films at the drive-in as well. 25th anniversary of Scream, 30th of Little Shop of Horrors, the original 1931 Dracula with Bela Lugosi. So you've got a little feel of Halloween in the festival this year too.
I love you guys. I love you guys. I love this festival. John Kelly, thank you. Good man over there. Jody and Chandler, thank you so much. We will be there to support in person. My wife, my family, and I. We wish you guys all the best, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you
so
very much.
Thank you so much. All right, Judah, we'll go on to one shot over here. Couple things that I want to talk about. Thank you, Chandler. Some items out of the notebook for tomorrow. So tomorrow's show, we'll have Real Talk at 10:15 a.m. on the I Love CVille Network. We'll have Juan Diego Wade and Brian Pinkston. Juan Diego Wade and Brian Pinkston on Real Talk with Keith Smith and myself. Both gentlemen front runners for the open seats on Charlottesville City Council. 12:30 tomorrow, the I Love CVille Show. I'm going to run the show solo at 12:30, and we're going to give you a recap of the chaos that is local government and what has transpired even over the last 24 hours. A lot going on here in Charlottesville. I'll tell you, speaking of movies, if you're a writer, a director, a producer, the content, the fodder, and the foundation for a film in City Hall is undoubtedly a realistic proposition for getting a movie on the silver screen. I mean, can you imagine a script that includes extortion and secret recordings and bickering and backstabbing and attrition from a governmental standpoint and blackmail? I mean, you're talking about the foundation, the fodder for a fantastic Hollywood script, Charlottesville government. Judah Wickower is our North Star, the director of the program. I'm so excited for Wednesday of next week as Justin opens Taste Shack. And guys, I am proud to own I Love CVille and to showcase the best of Charlottesville and Central Virginia. This is my favorite aspect of what I do, connecting with you guys on the I Love CVille Network. We pour our heart and soul into this programming every day for you, the viewer and the listener. I hope you see that, and I'm truly, genuinely, and sincerely grateful for the support and for you watching and listening. For Judah Wickower, my name is Jerry Miller, and this is the I Love CVille Show, showcasing the best of Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Take care.